Welcome to Girl Fight Talk. I'm your host, Kayla Haley. This is Rayna.
Hello.
My sister.
How's it going?
Well, this is our first episode of our podcast. My podcast. It's not yours.
Wow.
And we're just here to talk about girls and fights and girls, specifically MMA. And I think that there's a place for us to talk about the sport, the issues that are specific to women, the things that they go about, that they go through in the sport. A lot of times the stories of women athletes get kind of lost in male athletics.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to attempt to talk about some of those stories, bring on some women, some names that you may know, some names that you may not know, and talk about what we love, which are the fights. So
I probably don't know any of those names, so it's fine.
Yeah. What kind of drink do you have today?
This is Hubert's Lemonade, the blackberry flavor.
Ooh, the black of the berry, the sweet of the
Sweet
juice.
of the juice.
Okay, have you tried it before?
I've had Hubert's Lemonade before, but I haven't had the blackberry flavor.
Oh, you don't need one. Okay.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking, it's called Henry's Hard Soda. It's ginger ale. Let's see.
I wish. Is it good?
It's really good. I've never had it before.
Mm.
But
This is good.
can I try?
No.
What? I don't want your germs all over me.
Then give it back.
Nope. I'll just try it and taste it. Ooh.
I like
tastes
it because it's really tart.
Yeah, it tastes like, it tastes kind of sweet, kind of tart, but, I don't know, it's fine. I like mine better.
I probably like yours better too.
Because it has alcohol in it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So, I know that today it was like really hot outside. I was at a birthday party earlier this morning with Anastasia,
Mm-hmm.
and you weren't able to come, but
It's fine. I wasn't invited. It's okay.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell her to let you come next time.
Okay.
But we went to this rooftop cantina.
You were like outside in the hot sun.
Yeah, that's why I have these tan lines. And so we were outside, and it was like 80 degrees this morning at like 10 a.m.
Uh-huh.
And when you're like, and we have a leather car, or our car is not leather, the seats are leather, and we were sitting in the car, I was driving back and forth.
And the car is navy blue, dark.
With, yes.
With leather seats.
Leather seats. And so as you can imagine, hot 80 plus degree weather in Denver, Colorado, where the sun is intense.
Yeah.
Plus leather seats, plus a car that overheats.
They don't go well together.
Car overheats. Like, I don't know, the piping's weird, the coolant doesn't work. And so in order for the car to not overheat and to explode, we literally have to turn the heater on in the car so that the heat can escape the engine.
Yeah.
And so the heat's full blast, leather seats, 80 degrees. You walk up, you stand out when stand up when you get out of the car. It looks like you've peed your pants.
Because you're so sweaty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I know it's gonna, the weather's nicer now.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's cooler. It looks cooler.
At least we have a nice breeze, though.
Yeah.
That's important, I think. I don't know. Otherwise, we'll just walk around with
Breeze in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, breeze in Pittsburgh.
Catch my drift.
Yeah. So, yeah. So that's hot. It's hot outside.
Mm-hmm.
But last week we saw. You didn't come with me, but last week was UC 198, and it was in Curitiba, Brazil. Don't know how to pronounce it. And one of the main fights on that card was Cris Cyborg versus Leslie Smith. Mm-hmm. Do you know, you've seen Cris Cyborg fight?
Yeah.
What do you know about Cris Cyborg?
She's got a lot of power. She's a very strong fighter. That's pretty much all I know.
Yeah, she's like, I don't know what percent body fat she is, but
0.
She'd be dead if that were the case. but or deathly ill. She's very muscular. I don't know what percent body fat she has, but she's super muscular. And she cut down. This is her first time cutting down from 100 and well, I know she walks around at like 160 or something like that, and then cuts down to, for her normal weight class, which is 145 pounds. She's the champion in Invicta for 145 pounds. But in order for her to fight in the UFC, she did a catch weight of 140 pounds. Leslie Smith, God bless her soul, was brave enough to get in the octagon with Cris Cyborg at 140 pounds. Leslie Smith got knocked out in the first round. Oh, that's not funny.
Sorry.
But I mean, it was crazy because I think a lot of people don't know about Cris Cyborg. She hasn't been marketed that well, compared to, you know, a Ronda Rousey, a Holly Holm, other women, even Paige Van Zandt, which we'll talk about later on, but she doesn't get as much attention as the other fighters do. And so this being her first fight in the UFC at 140 pounds, I think a lot more people are now going to be paying attention to her, see her as an actual contender for Ronda Rousey, hopefully. Who do you think, because I mean, she's got the title that she has to defend in Invicta at 145. Who do you think she should, you know, if she goes back to the UFC to fight again, who do you think would be some good fighters for her?
Who, Ronda?
No, Cris Cyborg.
I would not know.
So there's, Holly Holm. She has a fight currently, but I've seen reports where she said that she'd be open to fighting Cris Cyborg at 140. Okay. And she has fought at higher weight classes before in her career, so it's not like she'd be completely out of her weight class. Right. I know that there's this other fighter, I can't remember her name right now, but I think she's currently said to fight this other girl who isn't, I mean, you know, we don't really know her name, and that's kind of the point. She's not like a top fighter right now. Right. I'm sure she's got amazing skills, but compared to like the Kat Zingano's, Amanda Nunes, who's going to contend for the bantamweight title against Miesha Tate at UFC 200. Right. Holly, you know, Ronda Rousey, we already said her. So there are other women out there who could fight Cyborg if they were willing to. But, I mean, Cyborg, for people who don't really know the history, Cyborg, if back in the day when, like, if you know Ronda Rousey is like the big mainstream star right now, before Ronda Rousey, there was Gina Carano. Gina Carano got beat badly by Cyborg. And after that, I think she stopped fighting. She went and started to do movies. And so, good for her. Yeah. But she didn't want to get beat up anymore. Right, and Cyborg was like a crazy opponent. And people started to know about Cyborg because of that fight. Right. So if she were to go and fight someone like that, of that caliber, I don't know if people would feel like it would be worth taking the risk to fight Cyborg. Because they'd probably, I mean, to be honest, she's just got tremendous power. And she will knock you out. I mean, the kind of ground and pound that she did to Leslie Smith was the kind of ground and pound that Tito Ortiz used to do, which would, like, knock guys silly on the ground.
So then maybe Holly Holm would be a good contender for her. Just because she's a good boxer. I mean, didn't she start off as a boxer? She has a good standing game from what we've seen in her fights. She's
long. She's athletic. She has good footwork. Yeah. I think that's going to be
really powerful kicks.
The main. Yeah. Her kicks to keep the distance. Yeah. I think using those Muay Thai kicks to help, like, slow down Cyborg. If she slows her down, it'll be harder for her to, you know, attack. Right. Because Cyborg is like, she'll bum rush you and she'll attack you until you're dead. But so we'll see what they do, what the UFC decides to do. Right. Part of me thinks the UFC wants to also protect a lot of their bigger name stars against Cyborg, because she'll just destroy them overnight. I mean,
let her. People want to see a show.
Ooh. Yeah. I mean, and if she's the best fighter, you've got to, that's the whole point of the sport. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
it's entertainment, but at the end of the day, if Cyborg's the best, she needs to fight the best. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Speaking of the 145 or the 135 pound division, when do you think Ronda Rousey's going to come back?
I don't know if she is. Isn't she doing a bunch of movies and stuff now?
She did. She did Fast and the Furious 7.
Yeah.
She did Entourage.
She was in Entourage.
The acting was okay.
The fight scenes are all people care about, though, in those kinds of movies.
I guess.
Like, Fast and Furious, you know?
Yeah. But then they're talking about her doing, I think it's Roadhouse, a remake of a movie that Patrick Swayze was in. And she's, like, the main role, I guess. I don't know. I just don't think she needs to focus on acting.
I mean, she's a really good fighter.
Yeah. She'll rip your arm off.
I'm sure people would love to have her come back.
Mm-hmm. So, if Ronda Rousey comes back, do you think she comes back this year?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well, what do you think would, like, keep her from coming back?
Just even if she wants to fight anymore.
Yeah. I don't even know if Ronda wants to fight anymore.
Yeah, like, just...
I think she
hasn't shown too much an interest in coming back.
Yeah, I mean, she got knocked out by Holly Holm.
Yeah.
Holly Holm stole some of her spotlight. Not all of it, obviously, but Holly Holm knocked her out, busted up her jaw. So, I don't know, psychologically, I mean, she even talked about, which is very serious, she talked about having suicidal thoughts after the fight, which is a very real, that's a real issue. And I hope that she's either been getting the help that she needs or is open to getting the help, sports psychology, counseling that she needs. But I think her athletic ability and all of that is perfectly fine. Just psychologically, I don't know if she's beaten herself before she would even get back into the octagon.
Right.
So I think her whole thing was like, I'm going to retire undefeated. And so it's like, okay, now that you've lost, what's your new motivation? Mm-hmm. Are you, you can still be the best in the world and lost. George St. Pierre lost. Anderson Silva lost. Yeah, he's lost now a couple of times.
Yeah.
But he still, I believe, is the best ever when it comes to MMA. Other people argue John Jones, but I think that John Jones has beaten a lot of great people out of their prime. So, Anderson Silva, all of the people who honestly were even who are currently in 205 used to be in 185 actually. And so he's beaten a lot of the same people. So yeah, Ronda Rousey, I don't know if she's going to come back. If she does, I think, if she does, they want her to come back to UFC 200 in New York this fall. I think that's too much pressure.
Yeah, that's coming up real soon.
I mean, it's in November 12th, Madison Square Garden.
Okay.
But I think that if Miesha Tate beats Amanda Nunes in July, they will definitely try to make that fight happen. Dana, I saw a post not too long ago saying Dana has made it, or I guess that Dana doesn't know if Ronda's going to come back. He's not going to pressure her to come back.
Right.
But for him not to be, first she was supposed to try to come back in July for UFC 200. Then she was going to come back to New York, come back for a UFC in New York, 205 in November. And so for her not to feel good about November, which is 6 months away, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what's left for her. What do you think?
Well, it sounds like she may not really want to come back. I mean, that's my opinion.
Yeah, well, if she's not, I think that we have enough stars now to carry the division forward. Ronda's great to have. Ronda would be, wonderful to continue to see her fighting.
Yeah.
But if she doesn't, then we'll kind of just move forward. we'll just kind of like they did with Conor McGregor with 2 UFC 200s. That was so disrespectful.
So
oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, okay, so Conor is supposed to fight at UFC 200.
Mm-hmm.
He's lost to Nate Diaz. And
but is
then
still a champion.
Still a champion.
Right.
Because he fights at 170 pounds.
Yeah.
Fights a guy, I don't know how tall Nate, he's probably like 6 foot, 6'1".
Something like that.
Longer reach, taller guy.
Can take a hit.
Can take a lot of hits.
Yeah.
Can take a lot of hits. Yeah, fighting, what is he? 145, 170. So 25 pounds above his actual weight class.
Right.
And is like, I'm going to knock him out, you know, in the first round. Love you, Conor McGregor. Trust me, I you know it. I love Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
He's he is a trailblazer for the sport, in my opinion.
Trailblazer.
Yeah, high school.
O-Town.
Okay. But he's a trailblazer for the sport financially for the fighters. Not like he represents all the fighters, but he's kind of made a blueprint of what it looks like to become financially successful within the sport.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
But when it comes to his own, I think his self-belief is probably his biggest strength. But with that fight, I think it was also maybe one of his biggest weaknesses. Because if you remember that fight, he was literally swinging in, jumping off the ground, swinging in with his left to try to connect with Nate.
Yeah. Which
he did a few times. He missed a lot more in that fight than he has in a lot of other fights.
Right.
He was headhunting him.
Mm-hmm.
And when Nate finally, he took his beating, but then when Conor got tired, he started to go to work. Nate started to go to work on him. He just simple 60% boxing shots, pop, pop.
Yeah.
Caught Conor, buckled Conor. I remember in that fight.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Conor got wobbled. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, and then Nate, what did Nate say? He's like, all of a sudden he became a wrestler.
Yeah.
He's clowning so hard.
Oh gosh.
And Conor took him down, barely. And then Nate basically choked him out.
Yeah.
And so, you're fighting, and he wants to do it again. Mm-hmm. He wants to prove to everybody that he can beat a 170-pounder, which we all know Nate isn't actually a 170-pounder. He just walks around at 170 probably, and because he didn't want to cut weight on 11 days' notice, they fought at 170. Mm-hmm. This fight, in my opinion, should be at 155. Mm. That's the fight. That's the weight class that Nate belongs in. And originally, if you remember all the story all the way back, Conor was supposed to be fighting Nate Conor was supposed to be fighting Rafael dos Anjos, the current UFC lightweight champion, at 155 pounds. RDA got hurt. I think it was a knee injury. Mm-hmm. Pulled out of the fight. And then Nate was the substitute. So.
Was it a knee injury? I thought it was a foot injury or something.
Oh, like his ankle.
Yeah,
yeah. He I don't know, it looked nasty. Mm-hmm. Whatever it was.
And Conor's like, he's got a sprain.
Yeah.
Sprained ankle. So funny.
He's throwing so much shade on these guys. Honestly. He's like, you bum. Yeah, he's so funny. But, so, yeah, he's supposed to be fighting. I don't know. Conor's doing too much, in my opinion. He's just.
But people are happy to fight him. They get lots of money doing it. And
they are very happy to fight him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know. They haven't told us what. I think Nate made a disclosed amount of like $500,000, just to show.
Right.
Which he's never made that kind of money. And then not to mention the pay-per-view points that he got, and then I think that fight sold, I don't know the numbers exactly, but like over 1 million pay-per-views for sure. So he got a whole bunch of pay-per-view points. He made tons of money. And he's like, I'm not going back to that old contract that you had me. I think he was like $20,000 to show, $20,000 to win.
Really?
Which I'm like, for a guy who's been in the UFC, he's a veteran, shouldn't be making that much.
Yeah.
He should be making
way more.
So, he doesn't want to fight anybody except for Conor because he's going to get paid, as he should. And he's in the point in his life where he needs to, make as much money from this sport before he's not able to fight anymore.
Yeah.
So, Conor, and who do you think wins that fight, the rematch?
I don't know. I think knowing what he's going into, Conor will definitely try to prepare a little better. So, and it also depends on what weight they decide to fight in.
It's 170.
It'll still be 170.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Who knows? Probably me.
Yeah, I think that Conor is a little bit more sober-minded about what he's able to do with his power, how his power translates 25 pounds heavier. Yeah. He definitely bulked up for the fight. But he can't, his power is not going to translate the same way that it does in the 145s as it does in 170. I mean, you think about it, the guys at 170 are Robbie Lawler, Tyron Woodley, who are the other guys? Johnny Hendricks, tons of different guys, and those are some of the smaller guys, not Robbie Lawler, but those are some of the smaller guys. Even George St. Pierre. I mean, these are guys who are like standing 6 feet tall. They cut weight to get to 170. Conor weighed in, I think, at 168. So he didn't cut any weight to make, to make it. So I think Conor's just chewing off more than he can. He's biting off more than he can chew. So, but something else that he's biting off more that he can chew is this Mayweather fight. Oh. Have you heard those rumors?
No, I now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I guess the story is that Mayweather's supposed to be retired. He's, 49-0. He finally fought Pacquiao, which was the big fight. Everybody was like, you can't call yourself the greatest unless you fight Pacquiao.
Right.
Now, was it under the right circumstances? Were they both in their prime? No, we know that. And then, it comes out that Pacquiao had a shoulder injury as well, which is why he wouldn't throw the left hook, which upset me so bad. But, so, whatever, that fight, whatever. But, fine, okay, so if Mayweather wants to fight McGregor, this would be boxing versus MMA, finally. Not that weird James Toney versus Couture, but he would be fighting Conor McGregor, I think at 145, because I think Mayweather fights at around that weight class. They're about the same size. Conor's a little bit bigger. He has a little bit of a reach advantage. He also is a southpaw. Mayweather has had issues with southpaws in the past. I think it was with Shane Mosley, where he got hurt a little bit in that fight. But Conor is under contract with the UFC. See, Mayweather, his situation's amazing because he's his own boss. He's his own promotional company, his own production company. McGregor is under the UFC's, leash. Yeah. So, unless the UFC, and Dana even said this to Mayweather, unless Mayweather reaches out to Dana White and says, Papa, Daddy, Daddy, Dana White, can we please have this fight, and it works out a deal with him, McGregor can't fight. He would be in breach of his contract if he went outside of the UFC to have that fight.
Yeah.
It is a boxing match. That's what, reports have said. So it wouldn't be like McGregor would have the advantage of kicks, knees, elbows, the ground game. Obviously, McGregor would, win if it was under those MMA rules. But, in a boxing match, what do you think happens?
I wouldn't know, honestly. I think it would be a close match.
A close match?
Maybe. I don't know.
Boxing?
I don't know anything. Probably Mayweather would probably win, though.
Definitely win. Yeah. Well,
excuse me.
Was that?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Mayweather is the best defensive striker I've ever seen. He is quick. He's got an amazing jab. He can hurt you with his jab. It's a sharp, powerful, super powerful jab. He's got amazing cardio. So it's not like he's gone the distance in his fights most of the time. So he's used to fighting a full, what is it, a championship bout? Is it 12 rounds? I think it's 12 rounds of boxing.
How long are the rounds?
3 minutes.
Okay.
Compared to 5 minutes.
To 5 minutes, yeah.
In MMA. But honestly, I saw a video of Conor. Conor posted, he's been doing all this marketing on his Twitter and everything, and he posted a picture of him with these Reebok boxing boots. And and then he posted a video of him sparring. I guess he's an ex-boxing champion. He's a South African. And the South African guy, he's actually kind of putting work on Conor. Conor had a couple of nice, strong lefts, but the South African, he had kept tagging Conor with his jab. They weren't like those soft jabs either. They were some nice jabs. And Conor, his footwork, that's the only way I see Conor even having a chance in the ring with Mayweather. If he can work on his footwork, which I don't think you can do in 6 months of training, even a year of training, you'll improve, but not to the ability to compete on the same level as Mayweather. The only way that McGregor would have a chance is if he can work on his footwork, cut the ring off, and tag, Mayweather with some hard lefts. Yeah. Other than that, and the thing is, he stands in that, how McGregor stands with that really long, wide horse stance. Yeah. He, is ready for someone to try to shoot a takedown on him. Well, no one's taking you down in a boxing match. Right. So he's got to figure out his footwork. I know he contacted and reached out to Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach is the coach for a bunch of high-profile boxers, but especially Manny Pacquiao. Okay. So Freddie Roach, if you want to learn how to box, again, what is 6 months going to do? But if anything, 6 months will show you what you don't know. Right. It'll show you and make you more aware of what you need to learn and grow in as a fighter, as a boxer. So I don't know. Conor's Conor. He wants to make the money. It'll help elevate his profile. He'll become a more popular fighter. I think they should make the fight. The UFC it's good for everybody. It's good business for everyone. Yeah. Conor will get a loss, on his boxing record, which is 0-0, I think. But he will elevate his status as a mainstream star. I saw a report that I heard they said Mayweather would pay McGregor something like $50 million to fight.
I would take that. $50 million?
Run around, try not to get hit for 12 rounds.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. So, 50. Who wouldn't take that fight?
Honestly.
And I'm sure the UFC, I think they're smart enough. I think that they are reasonable enough to make that fight happen. Yeah. Or to allow that fight to happen. So, we'll see. I'm not sure. Again, I don't know what they'll do, but I think it makes sense for both sports. I think, like I said, it's a win-win for everybody, except for the L on Conor's record. Right. So we'll see. And then I guess the last thing we want to kind of talk about is, the UFC. I don't know if you saw, but there's a rumor or a report, I don't know what the difference is, but they said that it looks like there are buyers who are in advanced stages to purchase either the UFC as a whole or a part of the UFC.
Really?
Yeah. Did you hear that?
Mm-mm.
What?
Wait. So some people want to buy UFC.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. So I guess I'm sure that the story has progressed since this, but it looks like there were 5 front, leaders in terms of negotiations with the UFC. I guess, there are a couple of Chinese-owned media groups and sporting groups who are looking to purchase, part of or the UFC. Dana has vehemently opposed all of these reports, saying that I think it was Brett Okamoto from ESPN, I think he was like, doesn't like facts. And I'm just like, okay, Dana, chill out. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you think the UFC's for sale? Do you think it's just a rumor?
I don't know. I think it might be just a rumor to get hype, but I don't know. If it's real, do you think they'd actually consider selling?
I think the UFC's in a good place. I mean, they made $600 million last year in revenue. They have some of the biggest stars as mainstream stars right now, between Ronda Rousey, Paige Van Zandt, who is on Dancing with the Stars and is about to win it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And Conor McGregor, who's like an international star right now. So, I mean, their stock is definitely up. And, I don't know. I think if they wanted to sell it, I heard that they are looking to sell it for somewhere in the neighborhood of $3.5 to $4 billion.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Should they sell it? I don't think they should. I think that they need to remain in control, work through the Reebok uniform situation. I think they need to establish themselves with another network deal after this upcoming contract is over with Fox, just to make sure that things are settled. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, there's a lot of different transitions. Like I said, the Reebok deal, the new drug testing policies. There are a lot of different things that they've just implemented that I think they need to carry out and kind of, it doesn't need to be perfect, but they definitely need to make sure that it is solid before they're ready to hand it off to somebody else. Otherwise, everything's just going to fall apart.
Right.
The fighters will be upset. The fans will be upset. The potential buyers, I think, would be upset. So, yeah, I think they've got to really make sure that everything is in order before they would do that.
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what has to come. We'll see what comes up this week in news, sports, in news stories. Vote for Paige Van Zandt to win Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
She's been great. I think she's done a really good job, and we'll see how she does. I think tomorrow is the finals. Today's the 20th, so I think tomorrow is the finals. So we'll see how she does. I hope she wins.
Go out there and vote.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like I said, I'm your host, Kalah Haley. This is Rayna, our first guest, and this is Girl Fight Talk, and we'll see you next week.